Okay. So for those of you that have been around for a while, you all know it's that time again. Oh. I'm excited for it generally. A lot of people that I know are excited for it, some people less so. But we're gonna kick it off strong with, just a warning. General Conference, again, is that time when church leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints give guidance to the general membership of the church, and it happens every 6 months, and they broadcast it on TV wherever they can, over the internet, on the radio wherever they can, and so on. So getting all the mediums as much as possible, and also recording it, and later on releasing the text from the talks as well. And sometimes people have a habit of falling asleep in case of family members sleeping during General Conference. Blow gas horn. Someone said that if someone did that in their family, that they would do horrible things to them. But that is beyond the point. Now, for those that may be aware of different things going on, people hoping General Conference will be about the SEC fine. So one of the church's assets had been reporting stuff incorrectly, and so the church paid a fine to the SEC, along with Ensign Peaks, which is that financial entity that the church owns. But General Conference focuses on doctrine. And of course, there's always time for more General Conference memes, which is why I love this. It gives me an excuse to make something about General Conference and also have fun while doing it at the same time. And it helps remind me of what I've learned during General Conference. So the more memes, the better. So during each session, so there are about 5 sessions in total, leading to about upwards of 10 hours over the total weekend that people are listening to church leaders give guidance. And during different parts of each session, the choir sings, and sometimes they have the tabernacle choir sing, or at other times they have other choirs from different geographical areas that sing as well. And there's always that inevitable time when you see someone you know in the tabernacle choir. So I'll let every other detail sink in otherwise. So now that we've got the, I think, warm-ups out of the way, we could say, we'll kind of go through it. They're not necessarily in chronological order, sadly, but they will get the message across pretty easily. Newly released Relief Society president, so excited to leave, and then the newly called Relief Society president just crying. I don't know if it's tears of joy or if it's excitement or sadness, but there's this exchange of good luck and I'm finally free. First presidency, yeah, crushing bottles makes it easy for recycling and whatnot. Recycling in LDS community jumps 120%. So there was a story that one of, I believe it was the 70 gave, and he was talking about eating with the first presidency at lunch, and he heard this loud crunching, and it was President Nelson crushing his plastic water bottle for recycling because, 1, it makes it easier to deal with, 2, it takes up less space. So then the counselors in the first presidency followed suit as well. And then everybody else followed suit because follow the prophet. When they switch up the hymn arrangement in conference, switching up hymn arrangements is, a lovely thing. Sometimes you're expecting it to go one way, and then it just goes like a completely different way in a good way. Children, parents, teaching and learning. This is what Come Follow Me is all about, the church curriculum that we use. Coming together and learning, teaching and learning together. And there were a couple talks that touched on that. Holland, you can't defeat me. Satan, I know, but he can. COVID. So Elder Holland sadly could not participate in conference this time around because he had COVID. So he was not able to be there, so he had to rely on Elder Bednar alone. Me, depressed. Elder Eyring does that thing where he smiles and cries at the same time. Because President Eyring is a big softy. Me, but this does put a smile on my face. You can feel depressed, and then he pulls out that crying and smile thing at the same time, and it's like, I feel a little bit less depressed now. Quentin B. Cook, not Quentin B. Gathering. So Quentin L. Cook gave a talk about the gathering of Israel. And there is one later on that touches on that. I forgot this one in my warm-ups, but you get a conference meme, you get a conference meme, you all get a conference meme, and that's what I'm here to distribute to you all today. And again, we harken back to Elder Holland. When Elder Holland won't be in conference, no! Every returned missionary is just saddened by that. They were hoping for either a tearjerker or a, get-in-your-face hump talk, which Elder Holland is really good at. We will now have the opportunity to hear again from Elder Carl B. Cook. So Carl B. Cook of the 70 talked about how he was in a stake conference with President Packer, who was one of our previous apostles, who had passed away a number of years ago. And he was talking about, in a leadership session of stake conference, about running meetings by the Spirit. And President Packer gets up, talks, and says, Elder Carl B. Cook will now speak to us. And for 15 minutes. And this kind of repeated on through like 2 or 3 sessions of state conference, through a leadership session and an adult session. So Carl B. Cook was rather exhausted by the end of it, but it taught him a lot about relying on the Spirit to give a talk, like run a meeting. If we trust the doctrine of Christ, we will set aside the shiny things of the world. So this is a reference, is a trap of getting distracted from Jesus Christ in life by all the new shiny things that are out there. Then Elder Uchtdorf, a classic one. What are you waiting for? Conference watchers? An airplane reference, I guess. No airplane reference this conference at all from him. Sad. When the Saturday evening session ends an hour early, which did happen. It was supposed to be 2 hours, but it went for only 1 hour, which was weird. And then here we go, Israel the Gathering. Can't believe he didn't cry during Titanic. Do men even have feelings? Elder Holland has COVID and cannot participate in conference. But that's a feeling, again, that everyone has. So, young Elder Haney, on the one hand, a prophet of God. On the other hand, cartoons. So he talked about how he got up one Saturday morning and his brother was watching General Conference, and it's like, that's the prophet right there. And young Elder Haney's like, yeah, that's cool. And switch the TV to Saturday morning cartoons. just completely blowing it over because, you know, young child Saturday morning cartoons are an important thing. So, Elder Bragg, when you brag about not using your last name to give a talk on humility, but instead you give a talk about poise and having poise and keeping yourself controlled. Again, going back to the crushed water bottle story, crushed water bottles after this conference stonks. When Elder Holland decides to watch conference at home in his pajamas, COVID test? Yink, yink, yink. Twitter, Dallin H. Oaks. Yeah, this happens all the time. President Oaks gets up to give a talk, and Twitter cowers in fear. So, who was it? So one of them, he gave a talk talking about how he was in a bishopric and had to go help with bishopric meeting, and his daughter, he usually reads stories to his daughter to put her to bed, and kind of tucks her in, and so he has to go to a dad going to a bishopric meeting and his daughter. But Dad, doesn't the bishop have a daddy to tuck him in at night and read stories to him so he can go to bed? Yeah, another April Fool's one. Conference rumors, especially on when conference lands on April Fool's, is a very, very popular thing. Elder Uchtdorf closing his talk without making a plain reference yet. Will he speak again? Will he? Ugh. You've got to feel the flow of the Spirit. Again, quite a bit on feeling the Spirit and running it by the meetings by the Spirit. Elder Haney as a kid sees David O. McKay on TV. Yes, a prophet. Anyway, Saturday morning cartoons. Thank you. The theme of this conference, never give up, never surrender. Haha, no, I'm serious. We'll get back to that later. The 3 degrees of glory, celestial, the uncrushed water bottle, terrestrial, the halfway crushed water bottle, and the celestial, the fully crushed water bottle. I mean, if nothing else, crushing those water bottles is hecka fun. Because I'd do it all the time. I'd crush it just because it made less space if I had to pack out. But it was fun and easier to throw into the can. So, hitting that celestial level of, water bottle disposal is just an automatic thing. Let me get this straight. You think that doing close-ups of the choir is weird. I do, and I'm tired of pretending it's not. Again, when choirs sing, they like to take their cameras up close and close up on people, so you've got someone with a big old camera 2 feet away from someone. And here we go. Water bottle, uncrushed, crushed water bottle. Classic Drake meme. When you're talking during a conference next to President Pecker, silence. See, President Pecker leans over to Carl B. Cook, says, here's the plan. We're going to run this by the Spirit. So everything you had perfectly planned, we're not going to do. And then he leans over to the stake president. Hey, no talking during church meetings. When you're asked to speak 6 times in 2 meetings, I'm running on empty, buddy. Again, back to the water bottle. No, yes. I don't think this is what they meant by build your house upon the rock. So, yes, building your house upon the rock of Christ, not the rock. Nobody, Elder Packer, after giving a talk, I will now turn it back to you. Reverse, 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 reverse. How I imagine an island missionary. A real island missionary. You think it's all like Sun and Surfer Bros, but then, no. This is how it be. Dad, remember to love me. Me. Oh, I can't remember which one this was. When you see someone checking their phone during general conference, this should have been in the warm-up. But they're probably looking at memes from the talk that was just given, because that's how people take their notes. Scotland wanting a temple. Pioneer 47 reminding them they still don't have one. Yeah, and Scotland didn't get one either this time around. See, and this one is always interesting. Brother Natris, Danny. Because there are some heartbreaking stories during conference, and there was this one about, a young man who had been deep in, places he shouldn't be, and a good bishop helped him get out and helped him see that he could go on a mission, do different things, and then when he returned on it from his mission, he's like, has the Lord forgiven me? And then, yeah. That face when you're asked to speak 3 times in one meeting. What? President Packer to Carl B. Cook. Again. Stop. Perfect planning. Come back again. When conference ends early because Elder Holland didn't speak, there's a simple solution. Just ask Carl B. Cook to speak. Again. The face you make when conference ends early. Again, Saturday evening session. What? I'm holding a first-generation Book of Mormon. That belongs in a museum. I have to speak for 15 minutes? Panic. It's over. President Packer will speak now. We will now hear from Elder Cook. What? Me and the boys going to find the lost sheep. So, again, the gathering of Israel. Elder Quentin Cook talking about finding the lost sheep and gathering Israel. We will now hear from Elder Cook, Carl B. Cook. We will now hear again from Elder Cook. We will hear once more from Elder Cook. Imagine those poor people sitting in those sessions just dealing with it over and over and over again. Some of them probably laughing inside themselves as they watch him walk up to it like, why? When you're told to withstand the heat of the latter days and have been buried by the snows of winter. So for those that don't know, it's still snowing here in Utah for some reason, when last year it was nice and sunny. So we still have snow, and it keeps taunting us and torturing us. Gives us rain on occasion, but still more snow. Follow the prophet, don't recycle astray. Crush your bottles. Never gonna give up an opportunity to testify of Christ. Who was it? Someone, I can't remember their name, but he talked about it a lot, and that's where the other one harkens back to. Never surrender. Elder Haney regarding the second coming. Bring it on. I'm ready. Let's go. Elder Bragg's talk summarized. You must also be poised. Yes, poised. Able to control yourself. I'm in danger. Every plastic bottle is weeping with sorrow, knowing what's about to happen. Oh, frick. I don't remember. Brother Nature's daughter. I love you, 3000. Trying to keep him from going to bishopric meeting. King Lamoni, so that's why Ammon was singing. Every stroke disarms a foeman. I can elaborate on this story, but this is, a really interesting story when you think about it. Those are severed arms in there, by the way. Just so you know, it's reddened. We're supposed to focus on Christ? We always should have been. Some people really confuse. They get lost with everything else, and there were talks that brought it back to focus on Christ. So, yeah, it was always a thing. We're just kind of reinforcing that that's the focus. Elder Cook, after finishing his second talk by the Spirit, President Packer, here we go again. What about second Elder Cook talk? Come on, second Elder Carl B. Cook talk. Come on, Saturday evening session. It's perfect. Again, here we are. Never give up an opportunity to testify of Christ. I must focus on Christ. Oh, look, something shiny. And I think that's the end of it. We are already at 20 minutes, so this is gonna be a two-parter. And that's only all the Saturday sessions. The next one is a wee bit shorter. So that will be uploaded probably Wednesday. So, yeah. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, boost the video up, share this video with your friends. If you found it informative or you just want to chat, I've got plenty of places in the description. Discord, Guilded, and what have you. Check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one.